Where will workplace violence be the biggest problem? Are my supply chains compromised? Where should I worry most about cyber attacks?
Where will the next conflict emerge? Will I have sufficient resources? What will my adversary do?
Which economic trends might shape our bargaining power? Which allies will need our help the most? What black swans are out there?
Different decision makers, different decisions, different consequences. But they all have one thing in common. They all manage missions impacted by complexity. Missions with problems that are unique and can't be modeled through past data. Present vastly different futures due to the pace of change. There's a need to constantly consider different information streams, and have causes that can be numerous and dynamic, so are not easily understood. As a result, these problems hold the potential for surprise, and that can disrupt even the best laid plans. What's a decision maker to do? Constantly scan, update, take in new information, and not get anchored to any one opinion? Even today's best tools are like using spotlights to cover all of the pieces that we need to track. Fortunately, there is a method for providing decision advantage, and it draws on the wisdom of the crowd. Drawing on inputs from a vast crowd generates a multiplier effect. It's the equivalent of giving an entire crowd of people their own floodlights. This gives a decision maker more coverage. Decision makers have the questions, crowds have the insights, and proven technology exists to gather and combine them. It's called the Integrated Forecasting and Estimates of Risk Platform, or INFER, and it gives us diversity of perspectives and sources of information, dynamically updated forecasts that reflect our changing world. Both quantification of likelihood and descriptive rationale explaining the complexity of causes, and early signs of potential surprises. Given the ability to engage more forecasters, decision makers can ask more questions, apply more accurate forecasts, and improve the questions that they ask in the future. Ultimately, the decision makers can make better decisions. Sounds great, right? Here's how it works. The Applied Research Laboratory for Intelligence and Security, or ARLIS, empowers decision makers leading our nation and our world. ARLIS translates hard problems into questions. Asking forecastable questions is one of the first steps. A decision maker's hard problems are decomposed into a set of possible scenarios and questions. For each question, forecasters estimate the likelihood that an event will occur. Connections are made between events, people, data, and ideas. From these connections emerge insights to the hard problems. The resulting crowdsourced estimates have been proven to be more accurate than any single expert or small group. And one by one, more accurate forecasts are made using the power of crowdsourced expertise. INFER creates a new role for forecasters working in the government and private sector. INFER can complement other investments in hardware, software, and data to provide decision makers with the most accurate forecasts possible. Forecasters are now connected to forecasters they never knew, enabling new scales of community. Disparate communities are more able to connect, and community is broadened. Insights that may have been missed are now captured. Insights can be added to insights to enable better decisions. Forecasters and decision makers are now sitting side by side, and data is no longer a sea of zeros and ones, but is turned into new insight and a structured set of ideas. Seeing the future sooner and more accurately becomes the norm. False positives and errors are reduced by collective wisdom. Now more than ever, leaders must rapidly make the best decision, a decision that will impact us today and define our future. Integrated forecasting and estimates of risk enables decisions that can avoid surprise and keep our world safer than ever before.